Hello, my friends, and welcome to my hobby home. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am doing part 2 of our Cotton Cuts Carnival. We are hoping to be completing it today. I am Team Skydiver. I have my finishing pattern here. Just cut my machine on. It's going to make a little noise. So the first thing that I have completed is the center section. This right here is the center section. So now what we are going to be doing is making the left and right sections of that center row. Now I have already gone ahead and pinned this, but we will be taking our 8B, our 6B, and our 4A, and we will be sewing those together. I did go ahead and sort my stuff out to make it a little quicker today than it did in the part 1. Sometimes when I just get it in my head I want to do something, I don't plan ahead and I just do it. And that's what happened with part 1. I just did it because I want to get my carnival completed, because I'm also working the Tree of Life with Cotton Cuts, and I know my clue will be coming in with that pretty soon, actually. Let's see, what's today? Is the 5th. I probably will get that next week sometime. And I really do not want to be behind on it. I actually was hoping to get back ahead, or catch up, not get ahead, catch up on some of my sewing, because I have so many things going on and I've been focusing on getting my sew along quilt top done that I really haven't focused on my others. And everything else is kind of gone behind. Now Cotton Cuts does have a new sew along or quilt along coming up May 30th or 31st. Let me grab my little card here and look, because I did get it. We did get our card. I think it's May 31st is when the new, when you can go in and choose a colorway. I have not looked to see if there's been any colorways released yet. I think they normally will have a few of them released early, but I'm not real sure if they have anything released yet. And if y'all would like to do the one of their sew-alongs, and I will tell you, it is fabulous, amazing, love it. You can go through the link that I put in the description and tell them I sent you. If you sign up for it, you can do it monthly, or you can prepay up front. If you prepay up front, I think it may be a little cheaper, and they send all your fabric. I think at one time, I do mine monthly just because it fits my budget better. And but that is how I do it. I do mine monthly, and they mail my clue and my fabrics. They cut all the fabric for you. Y'all got these pinned together and trying to sew them from the wrong side. They mail your fabric and your clue if you do it monthly. They mail those on a certain date of the month, every month. And so far, I've never had any trouble getting mine. I have heard some people say that they were missing like one piece of fabric or something. I've never had that happen. I've always had all of my fabric. I'm not saying it can't happen, because it can. There is a human element in it, and we all make mistakes. My favorite term is perfectly imperfect, and I noticed in our tags, our quilt tags, that they did put one in there called perfectly imperfect. So I'm going to have to put that on one of my quilts at least, because that is a favorite saying of mine. I'm perfectly imperfect. This is how I was made. I only did one of them. Oh well, I'll put this one over here to press it out and get the other one up here to sew it up. But by all means, if you were interested, if you're going to be doing the Wild West, let me know. I may join in with y'all. I don't know. I have to see the colorways first. I am a color driven person when it comes to my sewing and my quilting. It's very color driven. If I don't see a colorway that I really fall in love with, I may not. But because I'm just thinking Wild West, I'm having to think, what could be Wild West? Well, it could be a lot of things. I'm thinking sunsets. I'm thinking fence rails. I'm thinking something like that, you know, which I know I would love doing another one. Even though I'm already doing Tree of Life, you know, I may go in and do another one. And I may do another small, because the small is plenty large. And if I want it bigger, I'll just add borders on it. But I don't think I'd have to do that, because it could be a nice little throw. Okay, so let me look at this to make sure. It looks like these all press out. So let me press and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is one of the sides. I have both of them done. I'm going to lay one back over here, because I have to, my next step, we've got those two together. Now it says to do the center row. We have to pay attention to the direction of our white there. I'm piecing a puzzle together, y'all. So we've got that one with the white going in that direction. And we have E, C, okay, D and E. Okay, I'm just making sure I have this going in the correct direction. I am going to double check it before I start sewing it. I am going to pin this. I'm doing a lot of checking on this piece because since it is a puzzle mystery quilt and the colors, or you know, I didn't sew it all at one time, I don't want to get my pieces upside down or anything to mix the colors. And I'm making sure to pin all of the seams and make sure they nest really well. So I have my points all come together nicely. That's my goal, is to have my points come together real nice. And because it looks like this is going to be, well, I've already seen what it looks like. It looks like a Ferris wheel. But I want to make sure all my angles come together right. So let's go on and get this one sewn together, and then we will get the other piece added on. going to lay my instructions down over here in my project box. And y'all, this will be one more thing out of my project box. That'll be great. But I will always have two, possibly always have two cotton cut project boxes going, because if I start doing all their puzzle mystery quilts, I'm gonna need more than one box, because they normally have two going at the that kind of overlap one another. It's like the Carnival is the fall 2023 puzzle mystery quilt, and the Tree of Life is the spring 2024, and they're both going right now at the same time. I mean, it's hard to keep up with them sometimes, but I'm loving doing these. I love that they're already pre-cut, that everything is cut out for you. You don't have to pick out, well, you do have to pick out your colorway, but you don't have to go pick the fabric out. You do have to pick out your backing. If you don't purchase backing or extra borders or something like that, you do have to pick that out, but that is not a big deal for me. I'm seeing a navy blue backing or something like that, but all I'll do is just take this to my local quilt shop and pick it out when I drop it off. You know, pick my backing out, and I'll just take the top, and because they'll do the batting and all that for me. You know, of course I buy the batting and all that. I pay for that when they quilt my quilts for me. But I hope y'all are having a fabulous week. Y'all will see this on Friday. I'm hoping this is my finishing Friday, because I hope to finish this quilt top. Now, if you watch my update Mondays, you've already seen this. You've seen how far I've gotten. I don't know how far I'm going to get, but that is okay. I'm not in a rush. It's not a marathon. But now I've got that centerpiece again. So let me look at my instructions to see how we have to have this. I see an E with CCC. E is going to be my little dragons, and C is going to be my doves. Okay, so E, C, C, C matches with my over here. That's my D, E, E, E. Yep. So I'm going to get this pinned up. Y'all, this is working pretty quick. So this kind of gives, this being my very first puzzle mystery quilt with cotton cut, doing it this one time does give me an idea on how to do it in the future. But y'all, I'm hoping to have this done. I need to open myself up a little more time right now, because I have yet to get my garden planted, because it just keeps raining, and I knew it was going to, so I've not planted, but I'm planting some okra. I'm planting some, there's a lot of things. I used to plant beans. I'm not going to now. I say used to like I've gardened for years, but I haven't gardened that long either. So I guess I started doing gardening in 2020 just because, you know, wasn't nothing else I could do. Although I did still work during everything being shut down. I wasn't one that stayed at home. Okay, I see an area right here where my fabric was just a little bit shy, so I am probably going to have to do some creative stitching on that. Okay, so let's get this sewn together and we will have our center section done. And this Wild West, it kind of has me curious. I don't know, I think they're kind of addicting actually. Once you start doing them, it's just so addicting to not have to go buy a pattern and find the fabrics that match. And, you know, it is so addicting. And I know I currently have one quilt at the long arm right now. So it'll probably be another month before I can get this one to the long arm. Because that's all that my budget allows. I make sure not to overextend my budget. Okay, yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to get quite creative in this one. Let me see if I can. I'm going to take this out from under my needle. Every now and then I would have a piece that just didn't seem to do what it was supposed to do. And that's what I'm looking at right now with this one. Let's see if this works. It may work, it may not. But we're going to try. You can't fail or succeed if you don't try. I'll put a little sizing spray on that too, that will help that fabric out just a little bit right there, because I'm forcing it to stretch is kind of what I'm doing. Okay, it looks like I have my center section done here. I actually think it's supposed to be this way, but it's okay, whichever way it's supposed to be. I'm now going to slide this under here just to kind of get it out of my way there. So now let's look and see what the next thing is. We make second and fourth rows. We have a section 2A, and we're going to be making two of these. 2A to the left and section 7A to the right of 8A. So we've got 2A, 7A, and 8A. 2A goes to the left, 7A goes to the right, and that's the end of my 7ths. And 8A goes in the center. So let's see how we do this. So I'm actually going to do these in the order they say. So it says 2A to the left and section 7A to the right. So we're going to take our 8A and put our 2A on first. So this way we'll do our 2A, then we'll do our 7A, but I'm going to do both of them at the same time. So what I mean by that, I'm going to do both of my 2A's on the 8A, and then I'll do both of my 7A's on the 8A. Okay, so we have both of our 2A's on our 8A's. So now we're going to add our 7A's, and our 8A is our small piece in the center. So now we are adding our 7A. Amazing at how fast it goes when you come prepared, as opposed to what it looked like on Wednesday, huh? Now we need to add the instructions show 9A to the left of 9A and 5A. So let's pull those out before we press. Okay, so here are my 9A's. Those are going to go to the left. So let's figure out which one is the left and which one is the right. This is my 9A, and 9A has A, D, D, D. And we have B, B, and A. Okay, making sure I'm putting it to the correct side, because putting it on the wrong side would just be awful, because then we would have to take it all apart again. Next step, we are going to be adding the 5A, which will complete our 5s. So let's see how our 5A goes. So our F has to go at the top next to the B, and our F is our doves. Okay, so we have both of those completed. So now I have all of the sections to press out. So I will be right back as soon as I press all of this out. Okay, I now have, what is it, row 2 and 4, the second and fourth row completed. This is the second and fourth row. They're almost exactly the same. Well, they are exactly the same. Now this next step, it calls join a strip of D, which is in my package here, to the 3B section. My 3B. And then we have, let's just do the D to the 3B. This is our D strip. And we put one on top. I have to make sure I have it going the correct direction. Now my D seems to be a little bit longer than this strip, but that's, I'm going to just let it ride and let it be. To our second piece, we're going to do the same. Just going to make sure. Yeah, it looks like both pieces are a decent bit longer than what they need to be, which is good. Okay, I will press these and be right back. Okay, I have that top and bottom, or that piece added to the top of each one of these. I do need to trim it down because it is not as long as the rest there. Now that I have both of the 3B units with the D on the top, I need to take the 6C unit. This is our 6C unit. I will put it on each end of the units here. I was looking because I was like, oh no, I did 2 of them wrong, but they go on the opposite end, and the colors go different directions. So let's see, let me start on this end first, and I will just do both of these first, and then I will get the other side. Now these strips are the top and bottom of the design. So let me get these. Well, I have to do the other side now. I have to make sure I'm doing it the correct direction. I don't want to put them on here the wrong direction. Definitely do not want to do that. And I went on and clipped that one. I don't know why, but that's okay. I can get them done here. Okay, I am going to press these. I believe my instructions show I press them both towards the outside, and I will be right back. Okay, I now have both of these done. So our next step, we are going to be joining our ones probably on each corner because we're making 2 of these. We're going to be building on this unit. Well, friends, it looks like we're almost done. So the next thing we are going to be doing is working on our top and bottom units. We are going to be taking a 3A and a 6A and sewing them together to make them one long continuous strip. And we're making 2 of them, so I'm going to just go ahead and do both of them at the same time. And these press to the 3A unit. So I have to check to make sure 3A unit. This is my 3A, so I'll be right back after I press. I have these strips completed, so our next step is to add them to the bottom of each of these units. And I think there's only one seam that nests on each side of it, so I probably will only have 2 seams that nest on each piece. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and pin those. I have 2 right here. There may be one more that does nest, but we're going to pin and just start sewing and keep going. Okay, now that we have these done, I'm going to press, but we will be attaching our last piece to each end of these units. Now that I have that completed, it's time to start adding the ends, and that is our number 1. So we have 4 of these, and that's the only 4 we have. So let me get my colorway, and because we have to put it a certain way. These are my C's, and they go in to the other piece. Going to pin these seams here, just match these up, and we're doing this on both of them, so I will go ahead and do both at the same time. Press them out and then get ready to start assembling all the rows together. Okay, that is the end of all of our pieces. Now what I need to do is press these out so I can start assembling, and I will be right back as soon as I press. So now it's time to start assembling our instructions. I could just follow the picture and get it done, but it has us working from the center going out, and that's fine with me, I guess. So that is going to mean that I need to take, this is my center row, and I will attach row 2. This is row 2 to the center row. And it does tell me to pay attention to the F squares. So I am just going to fold this down and start pinning. Now most of these should nest, and I will probably speed you through this part because I got a lot of seams to pin. Now my next step is to sew the top row. I'm going to go top and then go to the bottom, instead of doing the same ones. I'm just going to head to the top, then go to the bottom. And I know how this one goes because we have that band across the top of it. So I am going to pin it, but I'm going to push through this right here so you don't have to watch this. And next thing y'all see is we'll be sewing. Okay, so now we are going to start sewing this very top unit on. And once we finish this, I will go in and press it, and then we will start assembling the 2 remaining rows on the bottom. And once that happens, we will have a completed quilt top. The thing is to not get into such a hurry because you're ready to finish it, because that's when things happen. It's getting a little heavy here on my machine, and it's wanting to pull. So let me roll this up under here. And as I'm sewing this, I'm wondering, thinking about what pattern do I want to put on this on the long arm, because the quilting is almost as important as the actual quilt top. It can make or break a quilt top, I feel. Okay, I am going to press this, and then we'll start working on the bottom half of the quilt. I am hoping I'm getting this done right, because I know I keep following my colors, but they look off for some reason. They look off. Okay, so now I am at the bottom, and I am going to take my 4th row. So now that I'm at the bottom, I have to turn it upside down so I can see. Well, I need to be looking at my main center. So now we start on the bottom half. Let's not get in a hurry because hurry makes mistakes. Now I'm going to press. And now to our final piece. It's easy to tell the direction of the last piece because it has that strip across the top of it. Okay, y'all, this is our last section to put on. Okay, so we now have the main parts of our carnival done. So now I have to put my borders on. Okay, it tells me to measure this. I'm not going to do that because if I have enough fabric, I'll just extend it over some on the top and then sew to the bottom. So I should have 2 of these. So what I have to do is make sure I'm looking at my top to my bottom. We have F and A, F and A. Oh, and it's all F and A. Well, this has the strip at the top. So first thing I'm going to do is just give it about an inch overhang, and then I will just pin it a little bit along the way. Okay, my main goal is to make sure I have enough, and it does look like I have plenty. So I'm going to pin in a couple places right here at the very beginning, and then I will just even it out. I'm not trimming it down and all that. I will trim it once I'm done sewing them on. I will trim the top and the bottom. We are now back to do the border. This is our, I think, top and bottom border here. I was going to show it to you, but then I realized I still had borders to do. Now, you just saw where the sides were a little bit longer, and I just trimmed them. I just put them on there. I'm not measuring them. I'm just putting them on here, going my way, and then trimming them at the end. I'm going to do the same thing to the top or bottom, whichever one it is. And you probably notice I have it folded up. That's because I was recording this several days ago, the first part, up until I got my side binding done. And then I just come back to do, oh, I don't need to start it on this end. I need to start it on the other end. So let me get to the other end. Now this has actually turned out to be a pretty good sized quilt top. I'm thinking I'm going to carry this one to the long arm also, but I'm going to wait maybe a little bit before I carry this one. I may wait and make sure I have my other one back first. Okay, first thing I do is I just get that needle in there, and then I start making sure my edges are even. Now, of course, I have my edges even before, you know, when I first put it in there. But, you know, unless you pin, they're probably not going to still be even. Well, guys, sorry about that. But my son that has been away just called, and I still have not seen him since he's been back in the States. So, because when he came back in the States, I was still recuperating from pneumonia. So I didn't go see him. But also his wife and baby was there. So I wanted them to have all the time they needed. You know, just the two, or three of them. We had us a nice long talk. He's a little bored since his baby and wife weren't there right now. They came back yesterday. Or they went back to her mother's house yesterday. They still don't have a place to live where he is currently stationed at, but because he just came in. And when he got what they call temporarily restationed, they had to let their lease go. You know, they had to break their lease, which, I mean, that's common in that area. But it was nice to talk to him. But anyway, I am finishing the borders on this quilt top. I'm doing the small. It is a throw size. And that's going to be plenty big for me. And I'm pretty certain this will be another quilt that I keep. I won't be getting rid of it. Because this is the very first puzzle mystery quilt that I have done. And this is probably one of the very first things that I started like this. Okay, I have this done. What I'm going to do is press these borders out and then I'm going to trim them up. Okay, friends, we are back with a completed quilt. Let me stand back. This is as far as I can get. See if we can show that right there for you. I don't know if you can really see that. So friends, this has completed the Fall 2023 Cotton Cuts Carnival Puzzle Mystery Quilt. If you like this type of video, give me a thumbs up. If you're doing the carnival and have finished yours, give me a thumbs up. Haven't finished it, give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Feel free to leave a comment. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, have a very blessed day. Goodbye.